Do you know all the things that are on your laptop in Microsoft that you can use to help students with their learning and also to help yourself? I'm Tracy Ashbridge. I'm a Microsoft educator, and I'm just going to go through some of the assistive technology that's on your device that you can teach your students to use. So here's a long list of all the things that are there, and there's many more. So we've got spell check, which most people know about. Most people know about editor. Accessibility is a great tool for teachers. Dictate is great if you're a terrible typer like me. Read Aloud, Immersive Reader, Captioning, the enlarged screen, audio record and translate. And I'll take you through a couple of other programs that are available as well. So I'm not sure if you know about the Microsoft Learn website. If you're a Microsoft school, you will have access to the Microsoft Learn website. And there are many courses that you can do to help you upskill. I would suggest that, as it's a great rabbit hole, that you set yourself a timer and I'm just going to do 30 minutes. You'll be amazed how much stuff you can get through, videos to watch, little activities to do, and you can collect badges and you can download this as part of your training record. So it's a great place to source information. So if you get to the end of this PowerPoint presentation and you want to learn more, that's a good place to head. So one of the things that I really like about the way that Microsoft has been set out, all the programs now have the search bar at the top. So if you can't find the feature you're looking for, so you can't find Immersive Reader or you can't find the Translate button, you can just click in the search bar at the top and find it. So that just saves lots of time than clicking on all the different tabs to see where the drop down is. So let's look about spell check. So with spell check, most people know that the red squiggly line, you right click on it and it will give you some choices. But you also, can you see from the screen that you've got an extra little bit where you can click further through. So you've got the word and you've got options for what does it mean. But if you can't read that, you've got the option to read aloud as well. So you can actually, if you're not sure what the word means, and particularly for students with EALD or students with sort of reading difficulties, they're not sure which of those words is the one because they all look pretty close to being the same and it might not be any of those options. So that's a really good way of getting them to be more careful about their choices, not just click on the top one of the list. Editor is a really important tool. I use it all the time, but don't send in a document without running it through Editor. Editor will make sure that it makes sense. It will make sure that the punctuation and grammar is correct. It will just take you through, and once it's at 100%, it's probably pretty good. So please ensure that your students click that through before they hand in any work. This check accessibility, you've probably seen it in PowerPoint, and that's where it often jumps up. When you're trying to save a document, it asks you if you want to check the accessibility. But it's a great tool to check as a teacher that your documents are accessible. So it'll check things like, is it readable? Is it easy to navigate? Do pictures have captions so that the vision impaired students can hover over them and it will say, this is a dog, so that they can do that. It also makes sure that it's visually accessible too. So if you've got students potentially who are colorblind, that the color contrasts are such a way that they can access them. So it's a good teacher tool. Dictate is a great tool. It's available everywhere in Microsoft. You can dictate your emails, you can dictate into Word documents, you can dictate into PowerPoint. It's a really good tool. And there's some, and I'll share some links to a post I did previously where I've actually made some simplified codes for making sure that you can add in the punctuation as you go. Microsoft have a huge extensive list, but I've just sort of done a school-friendly version. If you take this dictation and you copy it and put it into ChatGPT and you tell it copy edit only, it will put all the punctuation and check it through for you to make sure that that bit's done if you have literally just read aloud. So this is a copy of my dictation codes. You can put in a few smiley faces and sad faces emojis at the bottom, which students like. Also, one thing I really like is if you use the dictate and you want to put division sign in, it will actually type in the division sign, because I don't know about you, but searching through symbols, I find it really difficult sometimes to find where is the division sign. So Read Aloud is a great tool. Again, it's available everywhere in Microsoft. So it will read aloud what you've written, and obviously it reads what you actually wrote, not what you think you wrote. So if there's a word that's similar, or the spell check has corrected it to the word it thinks, but actually that wasn't quite the word you wanted, you will actually pick this up. but also you can use this to read aloud when you're just doing research or you're just looking up information. You've got to read a book, you've got to read a text. You can use the Read Aloud to do this for you. You can go forwards and backwards. You can change the settings to be faster and slower. I quite often use it slower for editing and faster for reading. But yes, you can do it. You can also change the voices. So here I've got the Read Aloud open. You'll see that it's highlighted the word that it's reading, which is great. And then on the right hand side, you've got the forwards, backwards, pause, and then the little cogs to look at the settings. Immersive Reader in Edge is a bit tricky to find. So you can find it in the More Tools. So in the dots on the far, it will be there in More Tools. And if I can find on the top, there is a shortcut which I think is Shift F9, but it's not showing on my device on the next page. So you can just use Microsoft Immersive Reader. So what is Immersive Reader? Immersive Reader makes it easier, that changes the format so it's easier to see. And I've got an example of that coming up. Yep, F9 is your shortcut for Immersive Reader. So the Immersive Reader icon is the little book. I've highlighted in yellow, comes up in at the end of the search bar, and then you've also you've got that Read Aloud there as well. Slightly different. Read Aloud just reads aloud. Immersive Reader actually just changes how it looks. So let's have a look. So I've googled here a page from Britannica about turtles. So you'll see there's information there about turtles. There's lots of other information there. There's ads. There's information on the side. If I click that F9 and go to Immersive Reader, it cleans it up completely. So it only gives me the text I actually want to read. And then I can use the Read Aloud. I can also ask it to make the text bigger. I can ask it to space out the words more. I can ask it to change the font. I can make it into different columns. I can change the page theme. All those things to make it easier visually for me to read. I can also have it on a line focus, so it will actually focus one line like you would do in prep where you put the bar underneath the word so the kids can just focus on that one line. You can then get it to focus on one line. You can get it to highlight 3 lines or 5 lines, and that helps too. You also see there's the option to have this translated. This is what Reader View looks like within Microsoft Word, and you'll see you've got all those options at the side there to change the presentation of this. But again, you'll see it's really cleaned it up, so there's not much else to look at. Now, captioning is an amazing tool within PowerPoint. So the captioning tool will actually put a ticker tape at the bottom of your PowerPoint as you're doing it. So even if you're a teacher and you've just got PowerPoint open, and at one page open, you can have the ticker tape running so that the students can watch what you're doing. So we always advise that if you're using any sort of video that you have the captions on, but you can actually have the captions on for yourself as you're teaching. So if students are hard of hearing, then that's great because they can read as well. Also, if you've got students who potentially they've lost their attention for some reason, the ticker tape, as you know, is always a little bit slower, so you can go back, almost like rewind your teacher, so that you can actually go back. And what did they say? I know one of my teachers always says it's great when she's supporting in class because she might be multitasking, helping a student. But what did the teacher? Oh, I missed what the teacher said. She can quickly turn around and it's still on the board there. So audio recording is really good option. So you've got 2 ways you can do this within Microsoft. You can just open a page in PowerPoint, open the page like I have here, and just press record, and you can record either a slideshow or just record. And then export this as an MP4. Within OneNote, you can insert audio. So if you've got students and they've got tasks to do, they can click insert audio and they can actually then just record their answers. In the curriculum, the word write does not always mean grab a pen and paper and put it and do it that way. That write is much more wider in its interpretation. Translate is great. I've pulled this off the side of a Word document. So I just asked it to translate. I pulled the text, told it what language to translate it into, really simply. And obviously this is AI generated, as are all these other things. So you do need to check carefully that it has actually done exactly what you wanted it to do and that it is correct. But it's a good start. So if you've got an EALD student and they've translated that task into German because that's their first language, they would be able to check if that was correct. So a couple of other tools that are out there. So we have Reading Progress, which is within Teams, and Reading Coach, which is web-based. I've put a link here for a video that's about 20 to 30 minutes long. So it's a really good introduction to this. But Reading Progress in Teams and Reading Coach provides students with text that they can read, and it records it and it marks it for you. So it marks it for their fluency, it marks it for their accuracy, it marks it for mispronunciations, words missed out, words they didn't know, and it will also then coach them in those words they didn't know when they get to the end of the text. You can generate text using AI. That's already set within there. You can ask Microsoft Forms to create comprehension questions. Again, you can ask AI to do that for you within Microsoft. My only gripe at the moment is that sometimes you can't go back to the text to check the answers. So there's a few ways around that, was to give them a paper copy or a hard copy of the text as well on a different screen. So you can do this in other languages. So if you want the children to practice their Japanese, you can put it into Japanese. You can, so with the Microsoft Teams, you find this within, so you can go to your class, and this is within the learning accelerators, and you've got a choice. You can add different assignments for different students. You can give the whole class an assignment. The Reading Coach is web-based, and at the moment you can't set a class there. Now that's something that is coming, but they haven't quite got there yet at the time of recording. You can also use the Coach button. So Search Coach is available again within your Teams. You can add it at the top. You'll see I've added there. That little plus button next to, excuse me, will add Search Coach. And you can see there that you've got the option to search, but it actually coaches students in what is a good search. So you can choose different domains. It will help you take out all the places you don't want to do. You can really refine your search by countries, by domains, by file types, by date range. There's a huge amount of scope there to help you teach students. But once they've got a search up, it will actually rank that search and say how good it is. So some of them will come up and say this is not a good search. Some of them will say this is pretty good search. This is the last time that it was fact checked. So it really supports that understanding of, you don't just search and pick the top one. There's more to searching than that. So this is available within Teams, but you can also use this as a Microsoft accelerator and set this as actually as assignments. Our students recently used this for their PYP exhibition to help them narrow down that search. And there's a video here for you which is helpful to learn a bit more about how to use it. So spoken support. So we have Speaker Coach within PowerPoint. So as I'm reading this right now, I could have had this turned on and it would have given me some feedback on how I've done, how I could improve. And there's also Speaker Progress within Teams. So you can set this as assignments too for students. I've left a video there for you to have a look at how you can use that. But again, another way you can help use the technology to help students. Obviously, the use of AI is a really common discussion right now. It's something that teachers are really exploring. Certainly students are exploring, not always with academic integrity. But my advice around the AI is it is just AI. So yes, it's a massive tool. I use it all the time for different things. I use it for videos. I've been using it. I've used Copilot and ChatGPT all the time. I've been using it to generate tools. I've explored Magic School. There's so many things out there to explore. But at the end of the day, it is a tool, and the human needs to check that this is correct. So you do actually need to read through, not just assume that it's correct. Because sometimes it puts a line in that says, "I'm generated by AI." Probably need to take that line out before you put it in the school newsletter. So yeah, AI is a great tool, and all these things on Microsoft are supported by AI in the background. So again, you need to teach the students that yes, you can use these things, like dictate is great, but it won't have dictated everything absolutely accurately. So you do need to actually go back and check your work, which we teach them right from the beginning. This website here with Miss Ed, she has made posters about all the digital tech devices, all the ones I've done here and some others. So I have these around the school in different classrooms. We have them in our office. So, and some of the staff have them in their staff room. So they've got this as a reference point and a reminder that, oh yeah, I could use that. So that's a really good website. I'll include this PowerPoint at the bottom so you can follow these links. I hope this has been helpful. Please like and subscribe to get some more videos as I put them out. Thanks for listening.